Alrighty. Monica, you have been done. You have been done out of a redeem. There's the one.
My depression is temporary, but these ass cheeks are legendary.
There you go. Just realised because I forgot to actually unmute the desktop. But there you go, man. You have that. And yes, it is very much the mid time. How are you, Gherkin? How you doing, pal? How has your Tuesday? That's the one. How has your Tuesday been treating you? That's the one. I am so not ready for this. Right. 2 secs, it's going to be loud. That's the one. Get to the shops, got my giant brew. Oh man. First time brew of the day, man. That's disgusting. Excuse me, after 7. Oh, after 7, that's the first iron brew. Bye. We are back on the horror games, but sticking to the theme of the thing. Yep, that thing. You know what I'm talking about. What's the word? Visual novel. That's the one. Which is Lake of Voices. That's what we're doing. Been also to take the part in the medical study. It's been out of the house since 9:30. I've only been home for a couple of hours. That's a long day. That is a well, but you're all good. So long as everything's good, as long as everything's fine. You're home now, chilling. Me and Monica here to keep you company. We're going to do some. I don't really know what this is. A visual novel about an ill-fated journey across Sinloss, a lake where gruesome monsters lurk just beneath the surface. With times being so dire, you need to decide what and who is going to be sacrificed. Anyone can be saved, but not everyone can be. Cool. We have choices. Choices today. Whoop. Is what we have. My Tuesday has been very busy. Work has been particularly busy, annoyingly so, because somebody in our team has left. I am the only person that can do their stuff, so yeah, I am doing all that stuff plus my job, plus having to run about going to the shops today. Actually, I don't mind going to the shops. That was all good. But yeah, it's been long, it's been stressful. How are your Tuesdays been treating you? How's your Tuesday, Monica? So, Gherkins has been busy and exhausting. All hugs to the love the pals. It is appreciated. It's very, very much appreciated. Bye. On the plus side, I've got through most of my stuff, so the rest of the week should be nice and chill. I've got 3 days left, and then we're on next week's my Monday off. I've only got 3 days, and it's a 4-day week next week. We are all good. Let's see if I can boot this game up. Love this music, man. The game does not want to play. Haven't I popped into a really cool American style diner on the way home? Nice. Oof, double bacon cheeseburger and sweet potato fries. Love sweet potato fries. A chili dog and mac and cheese, and some deep fried pickled chips. Gherkin, you have done dinner right. That sounds amazing. Sounds so good. It's busy, but it's been for the past month. Yeah. It's been. Right. I think my antivirus stuff has been a dick again. Right. This is fun. Yeah, your flashing on dashboard's got a fucking issue. God, man. Every time Steam tries to run something, my antivirus software is like, whoa, hold on, hot bus. Something a bit dodgy here. You're like, fucking not, just let me play a game. How did I fix it? I think I do that. I think I click ignore. Right, go away. Let's do this. But I look forward to next month. I have every Friday off. Morning. All long weekends. That's amazing. A retreat weekend on the 10th. Hot spring pools in the woods. Hey. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds nice. Oh, we have music. We have music, but we have no picture. Oh, this stream has just went to shit, hasn't it? Surprisingly good. I thought it'd be the usual service stop level quality, but it was actually well done and good for the money. Nice. So you'd go back here. I noticed there was no desserts there, so you're gonna have to go back and review that for us. For us, you know what I mean? We just get the desserts and just let us know how it is. Bye, Monica. I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures of that hot spring pools in the woods. Sounds pretty damn nice. Why is this game not showing up? If we go here, nah, it's not there either. Oops, I'm breaking things. Let's see. If I click that, that'll disappear very unhelpfully. So it's hooked up to the right thing. Annoyingly, this was working earlier. And it's just like, nah. Oh, there we go. There we are. There we are. Right. Yeah, I need to put the voice up. Text BS. It's all good. It's all good. We're packed to the hot springs here, and almost all hotels have pools and jacuzzi with warm mineral water. You know what? Just gonna have to plan a big old trip. Well, I'll come see you instead, Monica, because those hotels sound amazing. That's look awesome, like classic American stuff like cheesecake, cherry pie. Oh, I would love nothing more than just have a massive old slice of cherry pie. Love cherry pie. I love cherries generally. Oh, they had amazing milkshakes. To have a dining nearby where we live, so all I have was eyeing up one of the rum laced milkshakes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, years ago I got I think it was vodka infused milkshake, and it was potent. Potent is the word. I think I was like pissed just smelling it. You just have to. I need to get a case of the Hafsas, didn't I? Get myself out there. Cherry's favourite and fave smell along with vanilla. Oh, absolutely. Love cherry. I actually got my wee, don't know if I have to say that. A wee cherry chapstick. Not only do I smell, I taste like cherries as well. His lips are cherrified. They do boozy milkshakes and his eyes lit up with mint chocolate rum thick shake. Yes. Absolutely. Wait, what's history? Oh, actual dialogue. Cool. Excuse me. That sounds good. Mint chocolate. It's just grand. Anyway, chuck in a milkshake, chuck in some rum. You don't even need dinner. That's your dinner. You don't need anything else. Right. So, this game, Lake of Voices. Visual novel, you need to save people. We also let people die. Seems like not everyone can be saved. Oh, actually, before I forget, up here, behind me, it is National Food Day today in the UK. Don't know what it is globally, but there was a choice between some sort of food, I can't remember. National UN Day, which you're like, but National Food Day. So, it's a good thing we're talking about food, but we've got a wee haggis there, with drama whiskey right behind it, and I think that's mashed totties behind it. Bye. Big old slices of haggis. Anyway. I remember we used to make Bailey's triple chocolate milkshakes. Aye. You need to drop that used to. Just like, I remember I make. Actually, just take out I remember I used to. No wait, I remember and used to. Just say I make Bailey's triple chocolate milkshakes. That's what you need. Right, so you need to make various decisions through the game. Lake of Voices. Throughout Lake of Voices. Here are a few details, right? So, if I forget these, I need just to remind me. Certain choices are timed. Time running out isn't something to completely avoid. In some cases, not getting involved can open new possibilities. Other choices aren't timed. These options only determine whether Kika has any special affection for another character or not. If you survive until the second night, the story will branch into one of 5 different plot lines based on your earlier decisions. The other characters cannot manage all situations in the various plot lines, regardless of what you do. If a character isn't making it, try getting that plot with a different set of survivors or having the same group of characters venture through some other storyline. Becoming closer to someone can add and or remove future choice options and change how some scenes play out. Your decision to build that connection may not go unnoticed by the other characters. Earning the full amount of affection with certain characters can require getting into specific plot lines. Right. Page up key. Page up. Returns to previous text / choice. The T key opens full text history. Those are 2 random keys to throw in there, but okay. We did bougie milkshakes 1 year for New Year. Cinnamon and chocolate with coffee liqueur. One of the few things to make you miss drink. I'm not surprised. Like, that sounds good. Right, it's almost 9:30. I haven't showered for the night. Come on, go get yourself showered and see before you come back. Get yourself a Bailey's triple chocolate milkshake. Or just a nice big drink or something. Or actually, don't do all the alcohol thing. So just get yourself a nice big glass of juice. I should have read ahead first. So yeah. Alcohol messes your meds and makes you really sick. Something will have any alcohol for 7 years. No, the meds I'm on just now I can't even drink on. It's only been a month though, so it's like, God, this chair is loud. It's only been a month, but you're like, it's just annoying. We've got booze sitting in the kitchen, you can't have any. I also can't get out in sunlight, which is even weirder. But yeah, no booze and no sunlight for me, which is really good considering the overcast it was today, and I had to go out. Right. Oh, we've started. Right, we are just thrown in. And can't see half the text. That suppose it matters too much. Or I could, you know what I could do? I could... Yeah, that's not too bad. I can move it. You can see less of me, it's fine. I can turn to the side. I can turn to the side if you need to see the text, it's all good. That keeps jumping a bit. I meant to make it sound like sensitive, so it's like I'm made of chalk. It's weird, like I soak up the sun really easily and just tan very easily. This is really harsh lighting, which is why I look so pale. But then I say I'm tan. I do live in Scotland, so I am quite pale. Just not that pale compared to others up here. But it's no fun. See how they like sit and work in the office with the windows shut or the blinds down all day? It's not fun. I don't say like sun, but see when they told, oh you can't go out and you're like, but I want to know. Like I wouldn't mind just going out to work during the day. But I need to wait to the wee hours. I say wee hours, it's actually dark now. 7 o'clock I go for a walk. Anyway, sidetrack. So this is Lake of Voices. We have multiple decisions to make. We have relationships to build. We need to let some people go. We need to let people die. I'm going to try and save some people. Pale, go red and pale again. The sun does not like me. The sun does not like me. I get a proper headache from in the sun too long. So I guess like it balances out. It's like I'm going to proper mess your heat, but at the same time have this nice glow. It's going to be a game of horrid choices. There seems to be a mix of choices, so there's going to be like timed ones. There'll be not timed ones. If it's timed ones, I'll just jump in, make a choice. But if there's not a timed one, we have a quick wee discussion on what's going to happen. I did not mean to skip that. Right. My grip and my lantern tightens as the fog around us thickens. While the forests in this area are relatively safe compared to Sinlos, I can't help but feel my hair stand on end the further we get. My free hand fingers the hilt of my sword, something akin to a nervous reflex.
Have you seen it before?
We have voice acting as well. Excellent. Bemel breaks the silence, either sensing my unease or assuaging his own. Assuaging? That's right. I hope it's the latter.
I haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What have you?
Bemel scratches his chin casually, as though I asked what his favourite food is.
I traveled a long way around it once before. Not so pleasant. Something about it just frays your nerves. Although, even being near it is enough.
So I'm not the only one who feels it. A sense of relief hits me, but not enough to undo the buzzing of anxiety. I like the art in this is quite nice. The lake, Sinlos. Most try their best to avoid it all their lives. The hundreds who die attempting to cross its unearthly black wall, dragged to death by the creatures lurking within, aren't the secret.
No wonder you were assigned this mission.
There are few who've had first-hand experience with the place, even if from a distance. He'll probably keep being picked whenever they need someone to cross, for however long he's with us. Bemel shrugs, bringing my attention back to the dark path before us.
At least we're taking the bridge this time. It'll only take 2 days instead of double that, and the sooner this place is behind us, the better.
I'm the same, Gherkin. It's very familiar, but I can't. The memory's just not unlocking. It's like lots of deja vu in this.
It would be preferable not to risk it. But time is of the essence. We don't really have a choice.
One of our allied villages, Hema, is being harassed by brigadiers, a band of ruffians. We don't have many guards to send as an assist, only Bemel and myself. The least we can do is arrive before we are too late to be of any use. These kinds of squabbles happen often, but have to be put down lest they turn into a blood grudge or all-out war. The last we heard, neither option was that far off.
I can also see why they chose you to come out here.
I glance at Bemel, an eyebrow raised. A slight smile plays across his lips.
You're always so calm and so serious. Nothing can get to you. You're the best choice they had.
A smile now tugs at my own lips. I'd like to thank him, but that wouldn't be so calm and serious as he just described. And if that's how he sees me, I'd like to keep it that way. My lack of reaction only makes his smile grow, and he chuckles a bit before refocusing on the path. I do the same. It wouldn't be right to let my guard down in a place like this. Bemel appears to feel differently, however.
You know the town on the other side of the lake, though. It's not so similar to ours. If all goes well, perhaps we'll have enough time to enjoy the new area.
Right, so this whole story takes place over the 2 nights it takes to get to this town then. For the most part, I ignore him, nodding when applicable. Bemel is a talkative sort, and if chatting helps keep his worries down to the sword hand ready, I have no complaints. After a time, the thick fog surrounding us begins to clear. A slick wooden dock comes into view, and with it the sounds of water gently lapping at its sides. Bemel shifts beside me, stretching his lantern arm as far as it will go. He seems tense.
Someone's already here.
A young woman stands by the dock, eyeing us warily. Does she intend to cross tonight? Evidently she asks the same question. As we step up next to her, it's clear she isn't simply passing by. She's waiting. The stranger nods curtly to us.
Margaret.
Kika the Steadfast.
Bemele.
Bemele. I knew I was saying Bemel and I was like, this is going to be pronounced wrong. He's going to say his name and I'm going to look at right. Idiot. Bemily. Bemily. Just commit that to memory. There's a stuffy silence. Margaret turns her gaze out across the lake, expression unclear. With not much to say, Bemeli and I do the same. From here, the black surface of the lake looks disarmingly calm. Calm. Wind rushes across its surface, a sound like whispering. I would have said it the same way I did. Aye, Bemel. Doesn't really matter on the grand scheme of things, does it? Though perhaps it's actually whispering. I concentrate, trying to place the difference, searching for breaks in rhythm. After a few seconds, I feel foolish. It doesn't matter what the noise is. Whether I'm here or not, we're not alone. The Nixie are out there. A feeling that I can't quite shake tells me they've already noticed a little group of people on their shores. It feels hostile. My stomach sinks, and I instead address Bemily.
Where is the guide?
Unless he's on the center island, or on the complete other side, your guess is as good as mine.
Listen, someone then.
Pitch out there.
Panic rises inside me. Panic I try hard to quell.
We can't cross without him, and we need to get going soon.
You can't cross with him either.
What? The woman behind us, Margaret, cuts in with something like a snort.
What?
I know the guide will be here tonight. I have already made arrangements with him to cross.
Bemeli and I share a look. The woman seems haughty and willing to put up a fuss.
I have his word he'll take me today. It would be wiser for the two of you to begin the trip around if you're really in such a hurry. Or you can make camp here and wait for him to make the trip back if you prefer.
And why can't you all go at the same time? I don't need to turn my attention to Bellamy to know he's riled up. I step in before he can say something rash.
Even if that is so, my companion and I must begin the trip tonight.
Margaret is unimpressed and opens her mouth to argue further.
We'll wait for the guide to arrive before coming to a conclusion about any of this.
I mean, I've got no issues with leaving Margaret just now. She clamps her mouth shut, then lets out a sigh.
You can do as you like.
With the mar attentively settled, Bemeli moves away. His fingers begin to tap loudly against the top of his hilt. He shifts from one foot to another, then groans.
What's that bastard even up to?
I almost visibly start, but manage to restrain myself. He probably doesn't know any better. I'm sure of that. It's not worth mentioning.
With a mouth like that, you shouldn't even have the right to ask the guide to take you across.
How ludicrous. He's faced far worse than a bit of foul language.
Do you know anything that's happened with this lake?
Nope, enlighten
I
me.
know enough.
Well, I don't. Oh well. There's two of you, one of you both have swords. Aye. I mean, just shove it into the wild, no? I mean, the Nixie are in there, so, you know. 2-minute power shoving is 10 minutes in skincare. That's too much effort, mate. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Like, moisturise at least twice a day. It's ridiculous. But then, get skin like this. So, you know, keep up, I suppose.
The guide's father is Garvin the Exemplar. Garvin never accepted the guide as his son, all the way up until he died in this lake. Your statement could be seen as...
Oh, right. I get why Bemeli's out of line now. Do you know what? Do you know what, Monica, we do? You are right there. Both of us. Why?
Oh.
Bemeli rubs the back of his neck, his face regretful.
My apologies to the guide. I didn't mean it that way. I never knew about his... well, that.
A smile spreads across my face when I quickly wipe away. He really did just misspeak. The silence slowly stretches between the three of us, growing more awkward with each passing second. Margaret seems irritated and Bimeli abashed. You are quite informed, Margaret. I'm sure you're forgiven, Bimeli. I'd be keen to say nothing. There's like, don't really want to wind up Margaret anymore. Like, I don't really think Margaret's going to forgive Bimeli anyway. It's just kind of like, do I want to stick more in? Not really. Let's say nothing. That is a choice. We each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Yeah, I like small talk. Who likes small talk? Eventually, a small light appears in the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer until it becomes apparent it's a figure carrying a lantern. That must be the guide, although I can't shake the ghostly aura it gives off. The figure steps onto the shore, but we wait for him to approach us instead of going to meet him. None of us are sure how close to the waters we can get before it's no longer safe. He stops in front of us and simply stares.
Are you the guide of Sinlos?
The man nods. He has a sharp face and wary eyes.
Well, that's grand. We would like an escort across the lake.
The artwork in this is really, really nice. Bimel motions to the two of us and Margaret approaches, a strained smile on her face.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I'm ready to cross, as we've agreed upon.
The guide turns to face her as well, face remaining unchanged. It must not be a lie. He would have said something otherwise. She really does have preference to travel with him. That's a problem.
Is there a way we can all begin the trip tonight?
Finally, man. Just like, why can't you all go now?
Yes, I will allow all three of you to go. But with that many, at least one will die before we reach the other side.
Oh, right, okay. Okay. I furrow my brow. It's a disturbing addendum, and one offered with little emotion attached. Bimeli glares back, asking without asking what we're supposed to do in such circumstances.
You should go around.
We don't have time though. The sentence hangs in the air, the second half unspoken, if you want to live.
We don't have time for that. There are people counting on us for protection. Why does she need to go?
Is that your business, Bimeli, though, is it? He jacks a finger at Margaret, whose face contorts with anger.
I don't need to explain myself to you. My
Fair.
journey has already been put off once, and I was promised I could go today. I will be going under any circumstances.
No. Oh, damn. Just gonna turn the music down a bit, voice up a bit more. I feel like the music's drowning the sound out just a little bit. That looks slippery. Margaret has awfully unstable shoes. She does, doesn't she? It would be a shame if she were to slip in. She meets Bimeli's eyes with a gaze of steel. He starts to speak and she cuts in.
An extra day or two shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. Whoever you're meeting can surely wait such a tiny amount longer. Patience is a virtue, after all.
Yeah, I don't think the pointy end of a sword, don't think patience means that much to that.
The night is only so long, and if we're still on the bridges when the sun comes up, we'll all die as they sink back below the surface. If you don't decide soon, no one will be going.
The guide is dispassionate, stoic. I would almost feel something's wrong with him if I didn't share that trait myself. Bimeli pulls me to the side, jaw clenched tight.
That woman isn't armed.
Gherkin. See, you and Bimeli. His voice is low. He darts a glance at Margaret.
We can easily get her to back off if we make this into an actual fight. After all, we have to go tonight, yes? If one of us really is to die, it'll be her. Would staying be a worse fate than her death?
Well, we don't know the circumstances, so maybe. Yep. He is very much the type who's just, you know what, I'm just going to get shit done. Do you have time for this? Let's not piss a bit, shall we? I stare at the dock, refusing to meet Bimeli's eyes, and try to keep my voice as level as possible.
We don't know her situation. This isn't a decision we can make for her.
We can.
What?
Bimeli leans in closer, apparently having missed what I said. I remove the sympathy for her in my response when I speak again.
The guide won't accept something like that, I assume.
Us two are some cottage sassy lass. His face is grim. I know, it's like... She could wait. Surely she can wait. They are actually trying to stop a massacre here. Or a war.
Then what else do you have in mind?
First of all, you and I cannot split up. Either we both stay, or we both go.
See, the thing is, the description said, you cannot save everyone. So I'm assuming everyone, they're all just going to go, you know what, fuck it, all 3 of us are going. And decisions made between here and the other end of the bridge. That's what's going to kill someone off. Her life books are overdue. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why she's so... Because, like, those fees... You know what libraries are like sometimes? They will skyrocket quickly.
Right. That's not a question.
I cross my arms, a hand on my chin. I have full confidence in my abilities and in Bimeli's, but there's no reason not to believe the guide knows exactly what he's talking about. We don't know what Margaret's like. Margaret could easily handle herself. You don't know that guns don't exist in here. I mean, they probably don't. But still. If we go, he might not be able to give the group the attention we deserve. That would maybe truly would be putting Margaret's life at risk on top of her own. I believe we should go.
You.
All due fines take the piss in some librarians like Mafia and we'll take your kneecaps. Oh, aye. In this, see when there's like monsters involved in this, people tend to be extra pissy and extra, you're like, you know what? I'm going to take even less shit than I would if there wasn't monsters about. Bimeli's reply is firm. My steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to its certainty. He addresses the guide.
We shouldn't waste more time. Let's shove off.
The guide slowly turns around, without even a nod to show his agreement. Margaret stares at Bimeli and me, something of resolve in her gaze, and she follows after the guide. So really, someone's going to die because everyone's stubborn. At least she didn't insist we stay behind.
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Exactly my thoughts. We will take care of everything. Maybe I'm being naive, but I have no intentions of letting anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
We'll see. Sai, how has it gone, pal? How are you? Course day today? How did that go? Let me give you a quick catch up. Half term, so it is. I'm just saying that. It's the 2 weeks off you get into it. So, we are playing as Kika. We're playing as Kika and we're travelling with Bimeli. When Margaret's turned up, we're waiting for the guide to cross this bridge. Someone is going to die. Like, we cannot save everyone. So, that's what's going to happen. Found some pics of the Springs retreat sent to after the stream. Nice. I'm really looking forward to seeing them and being incredibly jealous. It's basically 2 weeks because it's winter. Aye. But nice, so nice chill Tuesday then. How's your day been treating you? I've had you here for a bit. Let's play Mario. Ah, cool. Not a problem. How are you finding Mario? I've seen quite a few videos and pictures online. Had to be nosy at a couple of streams, people playing it. Seems pretty good. He turns to follow the others across. I will protect everyone on this trip. I will. We will make it through this. Enjoying it thoroughly. I'm not a big 2D Mario guy. Just done something right then. No. Then I step onto the dock and join them. We begin. As soon as I step onto the wood, the temperature drops. The light of my lamp shines against the water surface as reflective as a mirror, until we reach land again. Death is only one small mistake away. There is multiple journeys. Good. Monica, you should see just seen the footage and the clips that people have put out. It's a good time. We fall into line with the guy leading the way. Margaret stays close to him, and I behind her, watching to make sure she doesn't slip on the slick, wet wood. Excuse me, but Melly brings up the rear. Now Gherkins point out those shoes. Those are slippy shoes. Each of us hold our lanterns in front of us, but it does little good. The fog is thick and nigh impenetrable, consuming the light as if hungry for it. Above the surface of the lake, it's deathly quiet. No longer is there the whispering wind, nor the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's just our own mismatched footsteps and the sound of my quickened breathing. My eyes drift back to the lake, against my better judgment. It's no wonder there's not even the sound of water, with how still the surface is. It seems almost sturdy, with the sheen of a black marble floor. I've heard rumours the water of Sinlos is heavier, more difficult to disturb than natural water. That's just the weight of its oppressive cling. That's just the weight of its oppressive cling is enough to keep someone down, even without them. Something even darker than the abyss of the lake flickers just below the surface, or at least I think it does. I turn my gaze to Margaret's back. It's better to stay focused.
Fall back a bit. You're following me too closely.
The guide is looking over his shoulder, addressing Margaret.
Sorry.
If someone gets pulled into the lake, they'll instinctively reach for anything to hold on to. Do not let that be you.
I love that. It's like, you're too close. Because I know if you get touched, you're going to grab it at something, it's going to be me, and I'm not here for that. Oh, it is National Food Day, Sai. So just, you know what? It's food. Scottish food. I'll allow. Aye, you die alone, Bish. Aye, it's national food, so stack up some haggis, wee drams of whiskey, and I think it's mashed totty in the back. It's food, so it's like Scottish food, innit? It's either that or shortbread. Oh, National Greasy Food Day. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have got a deep fried Mars bar. That's what I should have put up. See if National Greasy Food Day was the day. You know it would be a deep fried Mars bar there. It doesn't like Bish for some reason, but you know what? It's permitted now, Gherkin, you're all good. A deep fried Mars bar, Monica. So that, because now before it was like, oh, you've got like proper Iron Brew, got this other stuff, Greg's and all that kind of thing to look forward to. Next time you're here, we will get you a deep fried Mars bar because I know exactly where to sell them. To the surprise of no one. Mod bot where the fuck did Automod come from? I know what you meant. I know you meant the bot. Sai, next time you're up, I am taking you to get a deep fried Mars bar. Because I know where to sell them. Not the safest place, but you know. The Blue Lagoon, there's one under Central Station Bridge that does it. I don't know if the other Blue Lagoons do it, but then there's like another 5 of them in City Centre, so I can easily find them. Excuse me. Margaret's shoulders rise and she nods with great seriousness.
I understand. Thank you for the advice.
The advice of, if you get dragged down and you're going to latch onto somebody, it's not going to be me. It's not really advice. The one I went to buy my hotel in Central didn't. Was it a Blue Lagoon you went to, or just like a chippy? Pizza Crunch is good. Love Pizza Crunch. He ignores her gratitude.
You can speak amongst yourselves if you so choose, as long as you pay attention to where you're going. There is no worth in listening to the sounds out there.
There is like 3 blue lagoons around a bit central, so more than likely was. I think it's the one under the bridge, because there's one at the main entrance. That's the one with the alien. The one under the bridge has got the one with a picture of Justin Bieber, because he went and got like a haggis supper or something. Years ago when he was playing in Glasgow. You missed out on the Pizza Crunch. Monica, next time you're here, it's all good. We will get you loaded up on all the deep fried foods.
If there's anything at all, it'll only be Nixie trying to set you on edge.
All right. Then, could you tell us your name?
No.
You didn't have a chance to properly introduce yourself, and I've only heard you being referred to as the guide.
He always promises you treats. It's just tell him uninvited. Tell him everyone, I will still get you those treats. Next time it's 2 whole weeks. Oh, right, we'll have to space it then. Don't want to make it ill. One night we'll go. Actually, one night here, there's a big blue lagoon near the top end of town that's trying to be all like, it's a sit-in restaurant, so it's chippy with tables and chairs, but the big massive boat in the middle. We'll take you there for dinner one night. That's it for night, but everyone else works. I'm not sure that would work. That just gives you time to kick about and see what happens. Let's see what happens. See what's about. Probably work 1 of the 2 weeks, but you don't need to work all day.
I don't have a name.
Still need to go out for dinner, so... He's facing the front again. His voice is expressionless as before. I have no way of knowing, no way of guessing how he feels as he says this.
Oh.
Oh. It's probably not something that wishes to talk about. However, there was something else I wanted to say, so changing the subject is not difficult. I hope when Glasgow games in the future if I might stay in a hotel again. Always nothing against staying with Fizzy, I love it. I love that, but it's a different experience staying in Glasgow. Usually, sometimes, a more dangerous one. Depending on where you're staying. But I get that. It's just... No.
Margaret, thank you for allowing us to join you.
And it gave you kind of time to kind of experience more of Glasgow as well if you're staying here. Margaret shrugs non-committally.
It wasn't exactly up to me.
Committally?
Dad said he would take you.
She hesitates and then looks tentatively over her shoulder at me.
But thank you for saying that. It's appreciated.
Yeah. You remember, I can easily shove you at that water.
Mele and I will do our best to be an asset on this trip, rather than a burden.
That's nice. I'm not afraid to be out here, though. Still, at least with your training, you should be able to take care of yourselves.
Why is she not afraid? The hotel Jonathan and Shannon helped you find was wonderful and in a great place. A very good price. What one was that? I don't think I actually asked you what one it was. It's comforting to know that everyone here is so confident in their abilities. Not enough to forget how terrible it feels to be over this lake. God, it was the last minute show up and not a reservation. It was good that they had space. Even better that it was a good hotel. I'm not sure if that's fortunate or unfortunate. Believing yourself to be secure doesn't mean that you are. As the conversation lulls, a new sound breaks through. It's the whispering noise again. It's the chatter of inhuman voices, and this time coming from all around us.
Taking care of yourself is exactly what you need to do.
The guide is speaking again, except louder, as if to cover the Nixie's voices with his own.
Work to survive at all costs, and hope that everyone around you has enough sense to do the same. That's the only way you'll make it to the other side.
Pretty much I didn't forget what street was actually quite reasonable. And even though my window looked out on a bar, it was totally fine sound-wise. The windows in Premier Inns tend to be really good. proper keep the heat in as well, which is fine until they crank up the heating. Like Premier Inns are definitely the way to go, especially if you can get one at it does breakfast, because their breakfast's good. Is that Britannia Inn next to a cool strip club? Britannia Inn. Don't know where that is. Britannia Inn, Glasgow. Oh, right next to Charing Cross. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what that is. And I actually know what strip clubs I'm talking about because I passed it every day going to work when I had to be in the office. It's classed being a street activity with certain things like Sanos tantrums. Oh, they've been next to tantrums. Man, I wouldn't move to the city centre if I could afford it and be next to tantrums. At Charing Cross Station, exactly next to it. Yeah, that's the station that we get off at. Work to survive at all costs and hope that everyone read that. Margaret nods in response, but I hear a grunt from behind me.
Tend to go further when they work together to achieve the same goal.
The guy doesn't say anything in response to Bameli's grumbling either. I'm not sure whether he didn't hear Bameli, or whether he just didn't feel the statements made thus far are worthy of addressing. Probably the latter. There we go. I feel like it's the latter. We're not out for late smoke cigars in the club was so sweet to me. People work out. Gonna be nice. No reason not to be. We'll go around a large bend in the bridge, part of it forking. Maheen! You lovely lad, how are you? How are you doing? Just pop that in for you. Look at that lovely face. Look at that lovely face, Maheen. How are you? How are you doing? Side, don't worry about it. Do not worry. The game doesn't go all weird when I click it, so we're alright. How was Pokemon Sword and Shield? The stream was crashed. Finished him. Oh no. I fucking hate that one. I hate that. Well, how was the amount of Pokemon you managed to do? Is it you doing a Nuzlocke with this run again? Or is it just you just playing through Sword and Shield, seeing how it goes? But how are things with you? We're scrubbing Google Maps to see which hotel. All good. You're all good, Si. Oh, excuse me. But welcome in, Raiders. I am Mixin66, a wee streamer from Glasgow, Scotland, playing some random horror games. Tonight it is all about Lake of Voices. We're a group of 4 travelling over this cursed bridge. There's monsters filling this lake, and someone is going to die. It is not a case of maybe. Someone will die based off my decisions. So I'm going to feel really good about that when I get to the end of this. Yeah, the whole training montage. Mate, I'm checking that out after this. Checking that out. We've still made very, very loud birds in okay rooms. Like nothing luxurious, recommend mine. Very clean, very chill, close to everything. Aye. It's like, it's actually right next to Sucky Hall Street. There's a good few food places up there. There's a really, really good Japanese place in Sucky Hall Street called Narakuzen. It's perfect. I've never, ever had bad food for that place. So if you're staying at that place again, I actually think it's quite near. It might actually be in line, like just a couple of blocks up to Sucky Hall Street, and you're like right there. It's good. Really cheap as well. I wonder how the guide knows which of these essentially identical paths is correct when something in the corner of my eye catches my attention.
I believe I saw something over there.
I find if I high up enough in these hotels plus good windows, the noise is usually not an issue. Nah. That hotel's really fucking tall. Getting a call for siege, not a problem. Enjoy the season. Batter other folks. Get a few shots and get a few GG mates for us. I lost to a gym leader and went to the DLC to level up, and it happened to be part of the DLC you climb a dojo facing loads of trainers. Yeah, how did that go? I was going to ask how you've been since finishing Zero Escape. Honestly, all I've been thinking about, like, no joke, it just keeps popping in my head. I'm like, oh, it's fucking good. It was good. Good. Really enjoy it. Not enough to remind me to change the previous a bit because I forgot to add Zero Time Dilemma at the top of that, but I will remember. I think that's why I think because of this, I'm like, it's pure in my thoughts as well because it's a visual novel and all. And I'm just like, I want to go through all of them. I want to do all the visual novels. Maybe not all, because they're not going to be great, but it's been good. I've not watched that video you sent me yet, but I'll be doing that at some point tomorrow. Well, so I was planning to like have a bit of downtime, have that on whilst I'm working. Did I have the downtime? Fuck. Anyway. But no, it's good. If no one has played Zero Escape Trilogy, absolutely please do yourself a favour and play the Zero Escape Trilogy. It is fantastic. It's so good. The whole thing. Even like the last one I played was Zero Time Dilemma. It is, I think, the third on the list out of 3, but it's still good. Still amazing. Anyway, you are off. Enjoy the season, pal. Speak to you soon.
Keep walking. No need to worry.
The guide's voice is calm and level. I decide against pressing the issue, not wanting to set everyone even more on edge.
What did he say?
Perhaps not wanting the conversation to be caught by the guide, he speaks softly, though I couldn't quite hear him because of it. I take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain it to Bimeli and stop dead in my tracks. Only one word is able to escape me in my stunned state. It's a bit to go fucking down.
Behind.
Whose naked man's is that? He looks the type to be shouting like she's turned the winds against us, doesn't he? Behind Bimeli stands another figure, looming in the darkness. Seeing my face, Bimeli grabs the hilt of his sword. He whips round and staggers swiftly backwards. Several metres away, a crooked, twisted black figure hobbles its way towards us. Some kind of liquid drips off its head, curling around the edges of its face. It almost looks like it's crying. Bimeli backs up until he's standing beside me. The figure continues its slow advance, head jerking from one angle to another. This is what I imagined we'd to say. Florida Man articles are fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What you should do, you need to go to Google. Everyone, go to Google, type in Florida Man, followed by your date of birth, and you'll see what absolute, just unhinged behaviour happens in Florida on your birthday. It's just, this is what parents of toddlers say. 3 a.m. just some monster coming towards you. Some horrid figure with tears, making slow advances.
What on earth?
It's one of them.
Yes, Nixie that stumble across the bridges looking for opportunities.
The guide is standing next to us. I didn't even notice him approach.
The ones that can make it out of the water are generally referred to
Read
as
the toddlers.
prowlers.
There we go. Aye, toddlers get prowlers. Naked, crying. It's 3 a.m. Stumbling in, making noise. Being wee bams.
No idea things like that were out here. Is that what Kika saw down the other path?
Ask her. The guide says nothing, instead returning to the front of the party. Margaret watches him pass. Her frustration morphs into nervous optimism when something seems to come into her mind.
Well, slowed down much by swords, but at least the light keeps them away, right?
I mean, you best hope those Nixie don't know how to blow out a candle. Oozing weird shit at their faces. Oh, aye. Yeah, I have not seen or heard anything to dissuade me from saying that the Nixie are toddlers. Margaret's hand grips her face tight, and desperation bleeds into her voice. I bite the inside of my lip.
Direct light will force it to return to the lake. However, it'll try to drag the light, or you, down with it before it goes.
Instinctively, I reach for the hilt of my sword, despite the fact it would do little to protect me. The prowler is getting closer, jerking forward, stopping, then resuming its slow advance.
Okay, does anyone have a light we can leave here? That way it won't follow us.
I love kids, but this specific stage of the growth is a big act. Yeah. Aye, but it's like they've not quite grasped. Don't slabber all over things. Don't slabber all over me. Just, aye. I've got a lot of very young cousins. And it was always that. It's like, they would come and hand you stuff and the hands were always like sticky or wet and you're like, cool. I still remember the worst thing that happened to my sister. She was holding my wee cousin, who must have been about, like, not even 2 yet. But she was like holding it at the side, and my wee cousin just went bleh and threw up on her hand and just looked at my sister and just went, like, and all in her face. And you're like, nope, I'm out. Baby's cool, toddler keep away, grown child kill me. Yeah. I love kids but get tantrums and always sticky for no good reason. I understand the tantrums are not quite processing the emotional side of things. At the same time, you're like, I have enough tantrums, I don't need to be dealing with yours. Thank you very much. Always, always dusty with something unexplained. I could be like, what is this? They don't know what it's called. She's just going to be like, I'll start laughing. And you're like, it's like, okay. It's like, I need you to learn to speak. Like, now. I need you fluent in this language so you can tell me what you've been sticking your horn in.
Only matches.
But Melee spits. He's the one bringing up the rear, so he's the one most likely to be in danger if it keeps following. The guide, however, moves forward.
Don't forget it's there, don't let your guard down, and don't get left behind.
So matter of fact, isn't it? It's like just,
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack.
Don't give it the chance.
Babies can be gross too, aye. Alfie was giggling away when my brother was lifting him up and down and then promptly threw up directly in his mouth. Oh my god. I couldn't deal with that. Gherkin, honestly, I would have a meltdown. It's just, oh, so much wrong on so many levels. I hate the thought of it. Flora the Man spotted streaking in a video game. Actually, Monica, if you have a second, could you Google Florida Man in today's date just to see what comes up? Oh, actually, you don't need to. Saskia, knowing you're watching mobile, so if I do Florida Man 24th of October? Right, let's see. Oh my god, okay. the first one to appear. Florida Man arrested for having sex with stuffed Olaf from Frozen at Target. At Target. Not like somewhere private. Not like, someone's walked out in this. At the shop. Yeah. Cool. One of the other ones was Florida Man pulls gun in Starbucks over cream cheese. I mean, cream cheese is good. It's pretty good. I would do that. Florida man stabbed. This is from. Wait, where was that Olaf one from? Where's the story? 2019. That was. Yeah, at Target. It's odd how the phrasing it. It's like sexually assaulting Olaf. You're like, cool. We have another one from 2017. Florida man beats man with a stick for not giving him a beer. No, it's pretty standard. So they get arrested for stealing a watch. Fair enough. Oh God. The Orlando Sentinels title for that guy having sex with Olaf doll. Florida man couldn't let it go. Arrested for having sex with stuffed frozen toy. Very good. Very good. That was not funny. I'm not reading that one out. That's actually quite upsetting. Florida man arrested for pleasuring himself with an ice pack. Oh, ice. Oh, that's so much better than ice pick. So I was like, ice pick. Okay. Also, Florida man arrested for throwing cheeseburger at pregnant woman. I mean, is that really something to? Obviously, he has to throw a cheeseburger at somebody, but you're like, but you know, just be like, do I grow up and just fuck off someone else? Go away. Pardon me. Headlines are man, and then you see the mugshot of these fuckers, and it's like, yeah, aye. That guy with the Olaf toy, you're like, yeah, absolutely. I would not be surprised if that was the first time either. A Florida man has chaotic good energy. A Florida man who wanted to barbecue child abusers was caught and jailed. I would class that as a public service. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think she should be arrested for that. There's genuinely nothing wrong with it. Bemeli sputters in anger, and the guide similarly ignores him. I solidly grab hold of Bemeli's upper arm. Yeah, I would. It's like, here's a lighter. Here's some petrol. Have at it. Let me fund this endeavour, please. Like, just upgrade it to like a big industrial flamethrower or something. He was doing very good.
I'll lead you like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the Prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
Help me with the condiments. Oh, aye. Absolutely. It's like, sir, anything you need, you just hit me up. If I can't provide it, I will source it for you, don't you worry. Bemeli eyes the guide with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh in relief. He gazes at me with fondness.
At least there's someone I can count on.
We'll see. Despite the fact I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It's clear now that he doesn't give a damn what we end up doing. Some part of me is glad for that. I want to help everyone make it through, and it would be worse to have to persuade the guide every time help was necessary.
Kika, thank you.
Kika. I think I've been saying that one wrong as well. Bemeli places a gentle hand on my shoulder. It's reassuring, right? I feel Bemeli start as I reciprocate his touch, but just as quickly a smile replaces his shock. Check the blush. Okay. The moment is pleasant. A small balm against a large burn. I harden my expression and Bemeli follows suit. He moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine, and now properly settled, look forward. Oh, the arrested, let's hear it. According to ABC 13, Portal Sierra made threats saying, "Child molester, I'll kill you," before pouring gas on the motel doors. I mean, again, when Porto Sierra was asked why he did not carry out his threats, the deputy replied, "He came too early." Porto Sierra has been held in jail without bail. Oh, God. Like, just let him go. Just be like, look, I get what you're doing, but not when we're here, right? Be savvy about it. Just think. Privacy. Sneak into the room, set him on fire, and then leave. Don't stand there screaming at the door and drawing attention to yourself. Rookie mistake. Margaret is following the guide with some reluctance, turning back every so often to check on us. I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. Margaret returns her head to the front and quickens her pace. With a tug on Bimeli, we start to follow them. The four of us continue cautiously over the bridges, only this time the wet, squishing footsteps of the prowler join the sound of our own. In spite of myself, I grip Bimeli tighter. The prowler walks without a set pattern, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. It takes long steps, then short ones. At times it stops walking entirely. Does it hurt to be at the water like this? Or is it trying to be difficult to read? Suddenly the whispering in the lake grows louder. I steel myself, trying not to let it get to me. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. I can't lose my head. Then all at once I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt.
Bimeli, they're stopping.
Bimeli slows down as I do, and as we near Margaret's back she says something with akin to distress.
There's another one.
I tug on Bimeli and he understands. We draw up close to Margaret, ready to protect her if need be, but the guide holds out a hand.
Don't get any closer.
They're another Florida man. Just over his shoulder I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from its eyes. As long as it's eyes. The guide's hand turns over in the air, palm up.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bimeli speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
You have a prowler on you. Kinky, I know. This game is taking a slight turn.
Yes, an exploit won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
Yeah, like, naked men with, like, white dripping liquid. You know, okay. I see where you're going. Margaret takes Bimeli's lantern from him. Guarded relief displayed on her features.
Thank you.
She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand grips it tightly, knuckles growing pale.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far. The light will blow out before it reaches the Nyx.
I just realised they're backwards. Like, their torso's that way and their knees, like, or their arms are backwards even. Freaky man. He steps closer to the monster, his movements light and confident. As he nears, the prowler starts to back away. Is it only approaching the light that's making it retreat? Is it only the approaching light that's making it retreat, or are they afraid of him? The prowler's in a good OF account. This level of kink would make them rich. Oh aye. They wouldn't have to be, like, messing about with these bridges. They'd just be like, you know what? Here, lads. Here. OF accounts, man, come on. Get that money. The guide is far enough away from us that the fog is partially obscuring him, hiding his movements. The voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake, in the distance and onto the edges of the bridge. Do you know the thing with these things as well? They whisper a lot. There's a wee online community that likes the whispering quite a bit. They want him to mess up. I don't notice how tense I am until Bimeli eases my grasp on his arm. And suddenly, the guide takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance. Okay. There's a sharp hiss and then a deep splash. And the voices of the Nixie grow quieter. Not silent, but quieter. A sigh escapes me and the guide comes back to our group.
We should keep going before it comes back.
I glance at Bemeli and realise he too is looking relieved at the guide before us. And then I see it. The first prowler is still there. It's right there. They're not monsters, they're cats. They're just big cats, aren't they? Simply scared about it. I'm about to find out. Pull forward. I shift around. Oh, behind me? No, I was pulling towards me. I didn't say take his place. Come on now. I shift around, pulling Bemeli behind me. The prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bemeli, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. Then there's a slick splash. I realise that the Nyx has retreated into the water. Somehow Bemeli and I are standing, still here.
Kika, thank you.
I can't respond. Something cold, wet and slimy has grabbed my ankle. Kick it off, obviously. I kick my leg out as fast as I can and the Nyx's hold slips. It can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nyx. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bemeli grabs Margaret and I both, helping us towards the centre of the bridge and cussing under his breath.
I only looked away for 1 second.
I mean, toddlers again? Looked away for a second.
It's fine, Bemeli. We're all fine.
Are you actually alright?
Well, Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers.
I am fine.
I say that, but I don't actually want to let go of Bemeli. I need to in order to relight a lantern and provide us actual safety, but I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I am able.
Kika, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Yes please. Not an experience I wish to relive. Margaret nods solemnly. Suddenly it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bemeli and I, she is with us in more than simply presence. The guide's voice, as cold as that monster's grasp, ends my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw. The Nyx grabbed it after the light went out.
Yep. Margaret makes a noise. I glass over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking anything else.
I mean, do you know what, Margaret? Aye, silver lining, pal, silver lining. A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me and just as quickly stops. Bemeli chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies.
We need to keep walking.
The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. The prowler is gone, but so is Bemeli's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bemeli, since your lantern is lost.
Bemeli, I'm still saying it wrong.
I appreciate it.
Margaret goes on ahead of us. Bemeli stays by my side as I keep it at the end of the line. The breath of release from Margaret and Bemeli is quickly swallowed by the sombre atmosphere of Sinlos as well, replaced by the gravity of the near-death experience. Never mind celebrating his survival, something like that should have happened in the first place. The memory of the prowlers reaching out towards us appears each time I close my eyes.
Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces?
I don't even know what to say to that. The prowlers are on Margaret's mind too. Looking at her pain, the expression is as though the moment of relief never existed at all.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Something's wrong with them, though. They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land? It's not right.
Okay. There's plenty of things that survive in both, but whatever. Of course it isn't. The monsters. They likely do not understand even the concept of right and wrong.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the Prowlers.
Ah, Margaret. Margaret. No. Something comes to her mind, causing Margaret to end her part of the conversation early.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
Oh, Margaret. Margaret stops and waits for Bemily and I to reach her position.
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides, and it won't be so dangerous if Bemele loses his position momentarily.
That's a very kind offer, Margaret.
Oh, I can't see this going well. Bemele's surprise is so apparent. I want to cover his face my face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself too. Bemele returns to his usual surety.
As thoughtful as it is,
Surety?
I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for
Beta.
monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead.
Okay.
It's not my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Margaret and Bellamy turn to look at me in unison. Seems like it's my decision. Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal is to protect everyone. I can't very well do that with Margaret following behind us. But being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Getting pinceled by the enemy would be an almost sure death, no matter how experienced Bemele and I are. I just don't know what to expect from this bridge. That makes things so much more difficult. God. Do you know what?
So you're staying behind?
It's worked so far.
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here. But really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Oh, I should have just stuck it at the back.
Well, alright.
Ah, well. Margaret respects our decision and trots ahead a bit to catch up with the guide. He has paid no mind to the entire affair.
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Margaret chuckles, reflecting the amusement I don't want to vocalise.
Still have some ways to go.
God, just at the halfway point.
Damn.
I suppress my laughter yet again at his pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like light flickering through the fog.
The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on.
It's just toddlers in different forms, isn't it? You've got the ones that are just minging, shambling, like shuffling towards them, being all wet and disgusting. Then you've got this Yun having a moan. Basically, are we there yet?
I like the way you think.
Then a gleam enters Bemele's eyes and he grins.
I think Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
He leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to what?
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Bemele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
Fair enough. Bemele shakes a fist at Margaret in mock anger, and shoots me an affectionate look.
You should know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
Bemele laughs self-consciously, scratching his head.
That's very true. You can always count on Kika.
I keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure how I should respond. I'm pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me, but I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Instead, I contribute the best way I can. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without a response to me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. Right, you killed the conversation by totally ignoring them, but you're thinking, we're getting on really well, and they saw that she's just ignoring me. But okay. After some time, I notice Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realise it's because the guide has increased his pace. Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, and Bemily and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further away. We go faster and faster until suddenly we're full on sprinting across the slick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fog fly past us at a blur, and it occurs to me the branching paths in the bridge appear to be sinking. I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I'm trying to piece together what he says. So don't stop, turn. When he takes a masterfully sharp right down a different path, using his own momentum in the sleek wood to slide into the new direction with no loss of speed. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either, as she completely caught off guard by the guide's sudden changing course. She runs straight ahead, past the turn, and continues down the path we've been following up until now. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong bridge. Then I come upon the fork. Turn. Oh, yeah. Did not, yeah. I didn't even put that together. I make a hard turn, following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. Bemely's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made the turn as close behind me as ever. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Margaret turn around to try and come back to us, only to have the bridge in front of her fall away. Yeah, big ease for Margaret. Oops. Fuck's sake. I slow down for a breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. Will she? Will she though? I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears perked for Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us. And then I hear it. A scream. She snorted, she lost. Yep. I whip around, sliding to a stop. Margaret is sinking. The bridge she's on is sinking into the water. She's disappearing. She didn't jump.
What are you doing?
Margaret's head shoots up, her face strained of all colour.
Jump!
She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at the placid water of the lake. Even from a distance I can see her shaking. I can't say if it's from the bridge's descent or her own fear. She barely seems to remain standing. I swallow painfully. Margaret bends and tries to jump. She curves in a small arc, achieving more height than she should, and lands directly in the lake with a muted splash. Bemely starts beside me, but I grabbed his hand and pull. We start running again, leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind us. Bagger, I hope you're slating the afterlife to it, yeah. She's putting up a fight as well, Margaret. We don't need to watch this. We both know exactly what will happen till now. Margaret's anguished cries pierce the night, then the screaming stops. My legs grow weak. The price one must pay. My legs grow weak. It isn't right, but I push myself to keep going. Is that meant to be the RIP thing, Gherkin? Don't know what happened to that there. Where are we? There's the one. There's your wee shoebox for Margaret. I got it just. There we go, there's a press F. F's for Margaret, shoeboxes for Margaret. The big E's. Bemely cusses between heavy breaths, calling those things every foul name in his large book. I try to focus on the pounding of my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Margaret's terror as she's clawed to pieces by the Nixie. It's getting all the F's in here. the big whiff. After everything I didn't help her, we left her in the dark. As the night wears on, her strength rapidly fades. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. Almost as if in response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well, sliding on the surface of the wood.
Why did we stop?
Bamela's voice is tired, but his guard is up. So, I'm not sure I have a shite to give. Nah. I mean, what was Margaret going for through it anyway? Books? Or library books? I mean, really, she should be thanking this. She doesn't have to pay those fees now. Like, the library's not getting the fees, which she shouldn't be charging for anyway. But then Margaret doesn't have any library fees to give, so really, everyone's winning here, except the library. The guide doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. Got a new person. There, curled in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hands grip his head and he rocks from side to side, mumbling incoherently.
It's a man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please.
Just to remind you, you're still here. I'm glad you're still here. But don't you worry about the luck in me. If you need to get stuff done, absolutely do that. Do some Pokemon modding and fixing the stream with you in the back. Everything crossed to get that the stream fixed. There's nothing worse than it just going to shit. What Pokemon modding you doing? It's Florida Man's Psychic. Florida Boy. Yeah, regardless of what his name is, he's getting called Florida Boy. I'm struck with an array of questions. What is going on? Why would he wander out into those bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? I'm going to say yes to the last one. If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state of shock he's in. The man stops mumbling. He glances above him, seemingly only just now having the strength to lift his head. His expression, the deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror, are scrawled across his face. I stare at him in shock, not sure what to do.
Leave him.
What? With all these shenanigans, I'm getting pretty sleepy, and it's time nearly 11. Monica, not a problem. If you need to pop off and get some sleep, you do that. I will update you with what happens here with Florida Boy. And I'll let you know who survives and who doesn't. I snap my eyes away from the man and instead to the guide's cold, implacable face. Implacable?
No!
Is that the word?
We can't just leave him here. Without light, it's certain he'll die.
Yeah, that's far away, Bameli. Yeah. Good night, Monica. I hope you have a nice wee sleep. And get off fully rested for the morrow. Much love to you, pal.
He won't make it regardless.
Oh. The guide turns to look at us, his eyes seeming to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time I feel uncomfortable in his presence.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
I have a theory about this man here, right? He guides people across this, but he's like, someone's going to die. It's the only reason he is alive is because when he takes people across, he does stuff like this, like sprints, leaving people behind, like no warning that I'm going to absolutely just gun it down here. And he's feeding the Nixies, which is why he's still alive. It's probably not as deep as that, but still. I glance at my partner. Bameli is outraged. I'm trying to think of some kind of compromise when the guide speaks again, his voice cutting.
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Or is he one of them? And it's a way to lure people in? Aye. Because his dad never, wants not to do him. We don't know who his dad is. Could a Nixie be his dad? Who knows? So he's half human, half Nixie, but looks all human. Adrenaline surges through my veins and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We're on our own. His mum might have been one because his dad was seemingly some Night Lord. That's true. Unless his mum was having it off with the Nixie and the Lord found out and he's like, he's son of mine. Absolutely not. Bemelia and I frantically share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. Neither of us have a desire to speak and be the first to make a choice. Florida boy is standing now, though still hunched with his arms wrapped around himself as if expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than at us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him?
Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here?
That's why his dad didn't acknowledge him. All of our theories are good. So we're going to find out later. He glances up, not at me, but towards me. He's resting his eyes somewhere near my collarbone.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
Cool. Catch you.
That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you.
Emily,
Yes.
exactly.
I'm sure in your eyes
Okay.
it might not seem like much.
Okay, ta-ta.
It's not exactly a fair shake. Maybe in a perfect world, every man would be as large as you. But that's not how things always go. Doesn't mean I'm defenseless.
Right. You are making the case to just ditch you. The man's response is meandering. The words themselves seem to be in good jest, but he's still barely looking at us, fidgeting with his hands. Emily frowns, unimpressed.
It was a joke.
He smiles hesitantly, making eye contact with each of us for the first time.
What part of it was supposed to be the joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment?
Never mind. Forget that too. Point is, I'm alright.
Bye then.
You have found yourself out alone and unlit on Sinlos.
Exactly. Something must be wrong with you.
Even more reason to go, nope. This is not my situation. It's none of my business. Catch you.
Oh no. Sounds like you've been talking with my father.
He lets out a weak little laugh coupled with an eyebrow raise, voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. The man gives a small wave and begins down the path we came. Emily huffs, tossing his hands into the air.
It's not even the right way.
It is for me.
I was going to say it is for him.
Oh? You must have come quite a ways if it was the other shore you started on.
The man's smile grows.
Good. That's not so bad.
There is no response to this remark, unsure of what could be said.
I still think he should come with us. A person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option.
He keeps telling you to beat it. Can you stop forcing this? I look over the man's body, not noting the scrawniness of his limbs. Scrawny but not necessarily lacking in muscle. The bravado he was showing as he tried to leave us has faded yet again, and now he's standing quietly, looking at us as if watching a play. Let's go. Your spare part, I remember, was totally stressing you want to adopt a new one. It's a bloody bridge. I was expecting to get lost. Aye. Just leave him. Just leave him. Interest, but no true connection to the events.
It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's
Good
not
point.
mine, and you are putting her in even more danger with your own presence already.
Emily's hands turn to fists. He looks away but doesn't say anything for a moment. No one does. mind your damn business and get on with your task. I feel a cold sweat in my brow as what I feared comes to pass. He's stopping us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can he not leave us to make our own decisions?
You... Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now.
Good. Off you fuck. The man's voice is full of something I cannot place, and he starts to shuffle back down the way we came, arms still clenched around himself. I know the guide wants to act as though there's no option, however I can stay back with him. It'll put Bemley and myself at significantly more risk, but at least this man will stand a chance. Boom. No hesitation. Well done. Can't risk it. Bemley stares at the man as he leaves. We both watch him drag his little frame down the bridge, quickly fading from sight. We had to let him go. We've already suffered the loss of one of our own. The space the man vanishes into is dark and silent. We can see and hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps. I can feel a sneeze coming on. The guide was right, there are no other options. And I said I can feel a sneeze, it's completely gone. Love it. Well, that is what I have to believe. We need to get through this somehow, and being weighed down with guilt will only distract us. The guide starts moving again at a quick pace. After a moment's hesitation and one last glance into the truly lifeless fog, we run to catch up to him. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed. The stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes sense to miss him, but there's a sense of loss all the same. No one even attempts mirth. I keep thinking I should have done more. Should have pushed the guide harder to change his mind so it was less dangerous to keep the man around. Something. Anything. But I have to let this go. I'm not going to forget that man. I'll never forget him. But we still need to get through this. If we got this far in his zone, he's fine. Exactly. You're pitching about having to get moving because you can't hesitate, and Bellboy wants to play White Knight and pick up all the people. Exactly. See the fact that they found this guy on the bridge by himself, presumably from the other side, the place where we are going, with no light. Like, no light. Nah. Boy's dodgy. Too dodgy. I curl my hands into fists, hoping it will strengthen my resolve, and I push forward. We turn down a different path and the guide stops. Ahead of us stand a group of prowlers. At the sound of us, they turn their heads in unison, as if they knew we were coming. I inhale. The prowlers wriggle somehow, their skin moving more slowly than it should, sliding across their skeletons. They laugh. It's got further than they have, and they won't take them back. That's the opposite of helping. Because he's like, I've came from there, I want to go here, but you want me to come with you and go that way. Actually, imagine that skin just sliding about your skeleton, not fully attached.
We cannot lose another lantern at this point. We're almost to the island.
Nearly there. The guide rummages through his coat with his free hand.
What are you planning?
Bemley's tone is borderline threatening, but the guide ignores him. He pulls out a small pouch and opens a latch on his lantern.
Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge sets on fire?
Get ready to jump through some flames.
It will. We're going to run.
Man of action.
This is insane! These bridges are hellish enough without them also being on fire.
Best know lose your footing then.
And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could...
He is walking away, don't you worry about him.
He's dead. We're not losing another lantern.
I fucking swim. Bemley, come on. Call yourself a warrior? What I hear is a lot of fucking moaning. He said it with such detached certainty. It's as if he saw it happening himself. No one argues with him. The guide steps closer to the prowlers. We follow a step behind him, staying close to his back. He bends his lantern back down until it was lowered to his outstretched arm. The pouch in his hand is set aflame. With a... Excuse me. He's not stopped whinging this whole shit. Like... And looking at the main character, I was like, you could do better. Like, really? This man-child. With a practiced flick of the wrist, he swings the staff back and up. The glass in the lantern snaps closed.
Don't get left behind.
He takes 3 quick steps, then tosses the pouch. Tosses the pouch. The prowlers are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. The guide breaks into a sprint, and so the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness from the lake. These bridges are not normal bridges. Of course that's true. Nothing here is right. Hopefully they won't collapse with the flames. We stay on the guide's heels, almost too close for comfort. If he stops abruptly, we'll all crash into one another, maybe even fall off the bridge. Then the world tilts. I was mid-stride when I put my foot down. The bridge isn't what it was. It lurches to one side, either because it was weakened or pushed. Emily and I manage to keep our ground, as does the guide. He presses on without even bothering to see if we were able to follow. Like, he's just getting from point A to B. He's also given lip to the guide as if he knows more about the place than someone who's literally I call the guide. The one that everyone knows he gets you from A to B. Like, so Emily, just find that lane. Just ease on back into your lane. Emily growls in frustration as we push to keep up with the guide's pace. As our storm of feet thunder across the boards, a silver sliver begins to rise into view just above the edge of water. We are close.
It's the island.
The island? I squint and suddenly make out the craggy forms of land and earth. I see it. We're almost there. Safety at long last in sight. New energy surges through me. We push ourselves faster, longing to put these godforsaken bridges behind our backs. All at once the bridge ends and an entire group rushes ashore. Earth. Solid earth. A haven from the water. I catch my breath while still moving even further away from the dark shoreline. I can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the idea that we're only halfway done. What? I've no idea if he just goes back and falls across the lake. If you're with him at the time, cool. If not, it sucks to be you. Aye, he's gone. And I was like, I know my way. I know the safe route. Keep up, don't keep up. I mean, I've got my money. When night falls once more, we have to do it all again. A heavy arm falls across my shoulders, and I straighten to see Emily smiling warily at me.
Good work out there.
Whoops, I keep doing that. It's not the usual commendation of a job well done. There's sadness, perhaps even sympathy in the sentence. It ends flatly. Usually Emily's comfort and good nature gives me at least the urge to smile, but right now it feels like a hollow victory. Despite having the comfort of one another, we are incapable of doing any true good. We're only able to save ourselves. A quiet moment passes between us. And then the guy's there. He moves so smoothly that his steps on the soft sand are nearly silent, and his dusky clothes blend with the thinning of the night.
The sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't overrun with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat.
Emily levels an empty look towards the guide.
Is there something we should do?
Press on. Don't know why that sound got unplayable. The guide takes us to an area a bit further inland, but not too far from the water. Trees partially obscure a location and there's enough room to watch the coast in case prowlers start to emerge from the water. Essentially, it's a place where an ambush would be hard.
If any of you see anything at all, speak up. We don't want them to sneak up on us.
Really, Kika? Cheers for that. Almost automatically, each member of the group turns to a different direction. As the sky continues to fade from pale purple to a muted blue, the water stays silent. For the first time, nothing happens. It's a miracle. Suddenly, my chest is lighter and the air is fresher. The first pricks of light appear over the horizon, stinging my eyes after such a long journey through darkness. any of you, I know all two of you. A sound catches my attention and I move my focus towards its direction. The guide is opening the latch on his lantern again. He gently, almost respectfully, blows out the light.
We no longer have to worry about the Nixie. It is over for today.
For today. I'm almost unable to keep tears of relief from pouring out of these words. We made it through the night. We survived. No one feels the need to speak. We look at each other, an understanding passing between us. Then we find our own space, as comfortable as we can get, and lie down for the rest we weren't sure would ever come. My eyes slowly blink open and readjust to the brightness, what little there is. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate time of day. I prop up my elbows and push myself up. The ground is hard and rocky, but that isn't the only reason I'm eager to get on my feet. I check my surroundings. The harsh, craggy earth of the island is interlaced with twisting vines and gnarled branches. You can't travel through the day when the light's out and Nixa can't come around because the bridge sinks during the day. Like, just because. But I don't. It's like a magic bridge or something. Or the Nixie might pull it under. I'm not quite sure. But the bridge disappears. It only appears at night. So then, see, the Nixie have got this whole thing sorted, like proper figured out. And I was like, well, we can only come at night, so like, the bridge goes down during the day. We need to live here. Like any idiot that comes across here, just like, in we go, free dinner. This is like a dick move by the bridge. It's an odd one, isn't it? It's like, oof, son, oh, nah, into the swamp. Beside me, Bemily is still fast asleep. The guide, however, is nowhere to be seen. I realise that I don't recall seeing him lay down with everyone. It's like he left us hours ago. There is a creeping silence here. I can't help but shudder at the hollow, aching feeling inside of me. It refuses to relent. I shift my weight back and forth, unsure of what to do with myself. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. Bemily wakes suddenly, rising with alarm. My mouth opens, then shuts, and after a moment of fumbling, a word finally escapes. Concrete wiggle and sink. Aye, the fact that nobody's thought of this is like, will it reinforce this? Like, oh no, if reinforce it, then we have to travel during the day. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, this off, man. Maybe that's what it is. It's like, you know what, I'm not during the day. Nah, my soaps are on during the day. I can't be travelling. Night work sorted.
Hello.
Bemily gives me a gentle smile and makes his way over to me.
Morning.
Or night. A pocket of quiet descends over us. Bemily sighs. The atmosphere is weighing on him already.
We should eat something soon.
Yep.
Yes.
A distinct rustling of the leaves around catches my attention. The guide appears, emerging from the thicket. Bemily glares at him as he makes his way over.
Nixie will not tread on land in daylight. However, being near the shoreline is still dangerous. If you leave the center of the island, remain cautious. Before the sun sets, I will be in this area. It would be wise to meet me here before nightfall.
Okay.
Why do you do this?
You pay me. I sharply turn towards Bemily as he snarls and confronts the guide.
If you had just let him follow behind us, if you had been there before, none of this would have happened. They didn't have to die.
The guide. The guide looks away, seemingly unaffected.
If all you're going to do is leave everyone to be lost, then why bother guiding us at all?
Despite Bemily's severe words, the guide apparently considers his piece here is finished. He turns towards the forested area from which he came.
Wait,
Bemily calls out to the guide, reaching towards him. Before he can make contact, I quickly place a hand on his shoulder. He lowers his arms to his side, though I can still feel wrath emanating from him. We stay this way until the guide disappears from view. Bemily begins to kick at the ground, spraying tiny pieces of gravel about.
Melee, I know you're angry, but regardless of our feelings, we need the guide. If he leaves us, we'll all die.
Yeah.
and we've done so well with him.
Yeah. I gave him a cold glance. We wouldn't even know which bridge. We won't know which bridge to take without the guide. Bemily knows that. This needs to stop. There are people counting on us to make it back.
We can't afford to lose our way.
Oh, there it is. The sneeze is gone. The anger etched into his expression fades into sadness.
I can't stay here right now.
Take a walk. Thank you, Gherkin. Quietly, I speak. Nah, Bemily, get back. I speak too softly for Bemily to hear. Well, that was a waste of time. Lingering for only a moment, I start following the trail Bemily took. Doesn't take him long to notice I'm there, and he slows his pace so I can easily catch up. We fall into step for a short while, neither of us speaking. Eventually we come to a thick stand of trees and wordlessly weave our way through the branches. Once we're hidden by the foliage, Bemily leans against a tree trunk, head hung low. Negativity radiates off of him, but I don't know what I should say. Fortunately, he breaks the silence.
Apologize for back there.
Good. I nod firmly. His reply isn't unexpected. For as long as I've known Bemily, he has a tendency to let his temper flare, then regret it later, after processing his thoughts. Cool, right. So he's not worked on this at any point. Cool.
I know that dealing with these sorts of situations calmly is part of the job, but I cannot tell myself everything is fine or that none of it matters. Sure, I can feel something without it being anger, but I've not figured that out either.
Rather than speak, I try to listen as supportively as I can while Bemily continues to argue with himself. He sighs while pensively rubbing the bridge of his nose.
Am I simply being foolish? Would it really have been so harmful to try and help someone else instead of focusing solely on oneself? It looks to me like we're telling ourselves these lines to avoid responsibility.
I don't think it's your responsibility if somebody decides to just walk onto a bridge by themselves. just all the red flags, aren't they?
I don't know. It's possible you helping would have worked better. It's also possible it would have been
Kika.
worse.
You could do so much better. Bemily stares across the empty waters of Sinless.
I want it to be clear that I have not forgotten that those people across this lake are depending upon us. Not for a moment. But would they want us to be so focused on them that we should turn a blind eye to others right in front of us?
Yeah. It's Star Trek saying the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, all in one. Yes.
Even if they would, does that matter? We are more than weapons, we are people. Do we have to cast that aside, turn away from our fellow humans, just to achieve a so-called greater good?
Yeah.
It is not as though this village is a haven of saints. They are only as worthwhile as we are and these people on the bridges with us, aren't they?
I don't know.
I can feel the weight of his words settle upon me. I have had similar thoughts and have questioned what the correct choice is, but unlike Bemily, I have always been silent. I clench my fist tight to try and stop from saying something rash. Yes, they would. They wouldn't have called you. You said it could lead to what, or like a blood thing. I can't remember what it was, but basically war. So you're like, do you really want to fuck that up because of a person, a singular person on the bridge? Bemley closes his eyes tight and rubs his face again. It's clear that hasn't been enough to give him much peace. Eventually his eyes reopen and look directly into mine.
What do you think about all this, Kika? Please, be honest with me. I want to hear it.
Suddenly my eyes are hot. My vision blurs slightly from tears I desperately am trying to hold back.
I really don't know. That is the truth.
My words are soft. Whether he heard or not, the look on my face is enough to garner attention. His eyebrows shoot up in surprise. He walks over to me slowly, concerned.
Kika, what is troubling you?
That night has been absolutely hellish and nightmarish. Have you been here? One snooty specky killer and one scrawny ginger lad. You're like, aye. Those two are enough to absolutely risk a war and potentially a whole town or village being wiped out. Like, come on.
I don't have the answers to what you are wondering. Who are we meant to protect? Everyone we can? Whoever we're told to serve and no one else? Just ourselves? Should we only try to protect others when the risk is minimal? I have no idea what the right option is.
Bemley's confusion only mounts with my words.
I am sorry for disappointing you.
Is this a romance game? In the spooky game, and is Bellboy getting fresh? He is getting very close, isn't he?
No, you haven't disappointed me in any way. I never should have expected someone else to give me answers to those kinds of questions.
Good.
It is only... I did not think that...
He does not finish his thought, but I know what he meant to say.
You did not think I was concerned with these issues?
Like, cool, aye. Cheers, that's what you think it is, aye. He smiles awkwardly over being caught.
Yes. You never seemed to be bothered by anything we experienced before now.
Okay. With his words, my carefully held resolve crumbles. In an instant, my cheeks are wet with hot fluid cooling in the chill air as it slips down my face.
I've always cared. I've always been afraid and confused, but I have kept up a...
I stop and gasp for air, my throat almost as tight as when we were running on the bridges. It's professional decorum, exactly. Fucking idiot, man.
A farce of strength in order to get by.
I breathe deeply with relief, terrified and lightheaded from my confession. Bemley's voice is as delicate as flower petals.
I had no idea. How could I not have noticed?
Because you're wrapped up in yourself. Or having your fucking ragers.
Because I did whatever I could to make sure no one did. I have never wished to appear weak in front of others. But the truth is, I barely get through each day. I often feel overwhelmed with sadness at all that we have experienced.
Bemley gently places his hands on my shoulders as I try not to sob wildly. You can't blubber. Exactly. Blubbering of every job, you'd be a crap mercenary. Also delicate as flower petals. This is one of those romancing. It really is. With that sentence on it.
Kika, I truly apologize
fucking
for all
tricked.
the thoughtless things I have said to you.
So they tricked me. I shake my head, sniffling.
There is no need for you to apologize.
He smiles, the warmth almost enough to make me forget the damp.
I beg to differ. I have failed to treat you right.
You have always been respectful.
This is the connecting moments where you get enough relationship points. It feels like it, doesn't it?
A person needs more than respect from their comrades. They also need support.
Comrades, is it?
I have never given you that kind of consideration because I believed someone like you did not need it.
Do you know what? I'm not even going to get it.
The same could be said for me.
So, I don't think you need support, so why the fuck should I give you it? You're like... Okay.
Nonsense. You have listened to my rambling on more occasions than I can remember. though I admit my memories may not be there due to being drunk many of those times.
And how romance works when written by a 14-year-old on Newgrounds. Remember Newgrounds? That was good. When you were a teenager, obviously. Emily laughs at himself, glancing in my direction to encourage me to do the same. His confident words make me smile and I feel my tears finally cease to fall. Just support. He grins wider than he has since began this horrible journey.
You have my thanks.
And you have mine.
Abruptly, his expression becomes serious once more.
I will come to answer these questions someday. But no matter what I decide, I will still put trust in your judgment.
Good. I fear I may not live up to the belief he seems to have in me, but I nod firmly. He returns my nod.
Perhaps we should go check how everything is on the island.
That sounds like an excellent idea. And I will accompany you, of course.
Glad to hear it.
Together we walk back towards the interior of the island. Both arms lift as we stay side by side. Emily and I head through the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but we manage to pick our way through the bush quite well. Through a thinner strand of trees, we briefly catch sight of the guide standing on one of the beaches. He seems fine, but even though I'm sure he turned his head towards me, he makes no show of acknowledging us. It takes less time than I would have hoped for us to see that all there is in this isolated place. Now we'll have to spend time simply waiting, a far more unpleasant task. We seat ourselves underneath a large tree at the meeting point. There's no sign of the sun setting, and I find myself becoming increasingly restless. I release a breath. I've yet to shake the dark and troubling thoughts coursing through my head. A pat on my back grants me a moment's reprieve. It truly is just the two of us. Deep sorrow stirs inside me at that thought. However, having Emily here with me gives me at least some comfort. God. Should make the situation sound any more dire? I lean against his shoulder and he doesn't move to stop me. We sit together quietly as we wait for the sun to descend from the sky. The sky turns orange as sunset comes upon us. As the colour seems to drain from the world, being consumed by the fog, the guide makes his appearance.
It's almost time.
I nod and feel myself grow tense. We truly are about to return to those bridges. All of us wait in an uncomfortable silence until night falls. Night settles like a shroud over the land, every inch of the world now covered in unrelenting darkness. Suddenly there is a guggling. The water parts as the bridges of Sinlos rise, powered by some unnatural force, creaking like they might fall apart. I feel an inexplicable pounding like a hammer on the back of my head, beating faster and heavier than my own heart. I clench my teeth to stop it from churning my stomach.
We must go now.
The guide doesn't wait for any replies, briskly starting in the direction of the shore. Emily and I match his pace. I can feel the air weighing on us, a sensation that slows our steps despite being rested. Something hovers in my mind, the mirrored memory of the beginning of last night's journey. One day ago feels like a lifetime past. The thick, inky water sloshes reluctantly off of the boards, bleeding back into the lake until finally it stills. A shudder scrawls over my body as I place my foot on the boards, but I quickly shake it off. I have no other option. We have to go through this again. For Rachel, all tense as the old corpses, we walk over the bridges in silence. The only sound that accompanies us is the thick lapping of water at the bridge. Emily stays close by my side with a sour expression on his face. He evidently has little interest in masking his disgust. He murmurs something beneath his breath, but it's inaudible. I decide not to ask about it. It wasn't meant for me to hear. Keep it in your head. It feels as though barely any time has passed when it's explained that half the night has crept by. We encountered a few sunken bridges which forced us to reroute, while other paths were rotten enough to make us stagger our steps. Oh, excuse me. However, the biggest threat of all is eerily absent: the prowlers. I haven't seen more than shadowy glimpses of them down other paths, and even those may have simply been tricks of the fog. I feel I may be even more on edge tonight than last. Judging by Bemile's tenseness, he isn't set at ease by the lack of presence either.
Why?
I whispered the question softly, almost silently, as I scanned left and right across the impossibly empty bridges for any sign of movement. I pondered whether they're still wary from the consuming blaze that lit up the night yesterday, or if there are less dragging themselves across the bridges than usual because many have already gotten what they wanted. My skin crawls with a touch of icy fingers at the thought, and I can't control the sharp shiver that travels down my spine. Bemile catches my concern and he brings himself closer to my ear.
This isn't right. It shouldn't be nearly this easy to cross. Not after what we went through the other night.
Why question it? Why jinx it? Just keep moving?
Planning something?
Bemile shakes his head. He speaks with suspicion in his voice as he peers the guide ahead.
I don't know.
As time passes by, we continue to see nothing but more bridges and fog. Beside me, Bemile is becoming more and more agitated the longer we go without disruption. I can read Bemile well enough to know that his anger is still directed at the guide rather than the bridges themselves. It was my hope that he would be able to contain his feelings towards our lead until we had put this maze behind us. Why is Wonderboy getting so butthurt? He has a job to do and the guide was up front from the very beginning. At least one will die and he has to guide you and nothing more. He doesn't give a flying fuck about you or if you make it. He is getting to the other side, not his issue if you don't make it. Exactly. It's like, this isn't new. Like, this was all made very, very clear. And you're like, grow up, man. And then the fact that it's easy and he's still pissing and moaning about it, you're like, come on, man. Just come on. Wait, what was the last thing we said? Oh, I contain his feelings for the guy behind us, yeah. Give no guarantees that you would get there. Aye. Just, look, I'm going on this bridge. I'm taking this route. I'll run this route. I'll lightly jog. I'll walk. I might even crawl this route. You need to keep up with me. That's it. I am not stopping. I'm not slowing down. A to B. That's it. Keep up. I resolve to step in before he grows too heated and there is yet another hazardous argument.
Concentration is clouded, Bemile. What is troubling you?
The guide.
Surely you're already aware. It's him.
Bemile glowers hatefully at the guide. I purse my lips for a moment before continuing, resigned.
I do know that. However, you need to stop allowing that to consume you, or else you could get hurt. Or even...
Is that a threat? Bemile releases an exacerbated sigh while crossly folding his arms.
That is impossible. I can't stop myself from thinking about it. Everything makes so much sense now.
What do you mean by that?
Recall yesterday. I asked him why he would lead others at all if he was heartlessly going to leave them behind. What if this is the reason? Before, we could scarcely escape these monsters, and now I can't even hear a whisper of one. What if they're already satisfied with what they've taken?
Is Bemile really going to take our theories? My eyes widen and I stifle a gasp. The situation at hand, giving both of us a reason to think on that possibility, is absolutely unsettling. But his conclusion is even worse still. The notion of the guide allowing others to die unnecessarily on purpose to make it less dangerous for the remaining few. That's not something I was prepared for.
Even back when we started, the first time we met the guide, he mentioned that at least one of us would die before the journey was finished. Didn't that exchange seem strange to you? He said it as though it was a price to pay for coming with him.
Well...
The guide is free to do as he pleases. He can and will threaten to leave the entire group behind at so much as a hint of resistance. Nothing is stopping him. He knew this was going to happen.
I mean,
To know.
we said this. I take a few moments to breathe. Despite the danger, I only barely resist shutting my eyes against the world.
We need to make it to the other side. We must keep moving forward and survive. The guide is our only way across.
Yep, unfortunately. My usual reply to Bemilay's words does not make an impression. His eyes are not swayed. He continues to stare into me.
I'm saying he cannot be trusted with our lives at this very moment. I need an answer to that, Kika. What do you really think?
Oh God, you're going to ask me. Discuss it at the end. Like, actually, can we just survive? That's all I want to do. Coming to any decision on the matter is impossible right now. There's too much danger and too many unknowns to account for to reach any sort of conclusion. I have no choice but to shut the conversation down. Excuse me. I can only hope Bemiley will take it seriously. Get to the other side, if he's still salty, confront him when you're not in danger of getting munched on. It's... Oh. See, honestly, it seems like... It just seems obvious. It seems like the most common sense approach, but then walking red flag here. Like, I don't think common sense manages to fit in this space he's got in between his ears.
When everything is through, then we may talk about it. End of discussion.
Yeah, common sense is not that common. Bemiley doesn't battle me further on the issue. His face no longer retains any anger, only sorrow. He returns his gaze straight ahead. Is he seriously sulking because we don't agree? That's how that's coming across. Me. It's too much of a pretty boy to be overburdened by the logic. I'm kind of thinking? Nah. Pure raw emotion is what this lad runs on. Our progress continues steadily and we still encounter no significant difficulties.
Much longer until we reach the other side. We have traveled quite a ways.
Again, over there yet? Bemilay's quiet breaking question doesn't sound particularly enthused.
Should only be another couple of hours.
Huh.
Bemiley is unconvinced. It is not only I who notices. The guide suddenly stops. Eerily, he turns his head to the side and looks back at us.
Is there a problem with that?
Is there?
Really? Are you doing this now? We've progressed through the bridges at a much quicker clip this time. Bemilay's question was not idle curiosity, but he was confirming that fact for himself. I should have known. The guide looks to be slightly irritated over the attitude Bemiley has taken.
If you have something to say, you should say it. Unless you're afraid that I'm going to leave you behind.
His statement lands heavily on us. Did he listen to our conversation? There were no sounds to cover our voices. However, I had assumed we were far enough away from the guide to keep our words to ourselves. He stares with such an icy expression I nearly freeze in place. Bemiley, on the other hand, heats up and grows more hostile. He leaves my side to rush into the guide's flickering light.
Don't.
Good. This is going much too far. I urge him to come back. He ignores me and takes a stand facing the guide.
Am I right? Are you going to leave us behind after what I've done?
The guide isn't bothered at all by Bemiley entering his space. He gives a level answer.
No.
Well, that's grand. In that case, I'd like to know if I'm on the right track about something else.
Really, man?
Are the monsters missing because they've already eaten? Or is there some other reason why they've all mysteriously vanished?
The guide pauses for a moment. His eyes close and he becomes completely still.
It's possible.
Bemiley glares at the guide over the admittance. It's as though he heard nothing after the first line the guide spoke. The guide is unfazed. Aye, saviour complex, aware of temper issues but won't change. Sulking because she said no, short attention span, are we there yet? Petty bitch with an attitude. He is a pretty toddler man-child. Face or blink personality of a 3-year-old. That describes him perfectly. Just absolute spot on.
If you enter these bridges, all you should expect is death. That is no secret.
Did be saying that.
You need to stop putting so much energy into finding meaning, or else you will end up like the others.
Bemley ends up speechless, caught off guard by the guide openly discussing his accusation. Guide continues at Bemley's silence, annoyance leaking into his voice.
You think that the results would have been different if only I had said more or did something differently, but that is not true. The conclusion would be exactly the same. If Lou hadn't died when he did, he would have been lost at some other point during the trip.
Lou.
Lou?
Yes, Lou was his name. I had spoken with him in the past. He wanted to cross the bridges. I had deemed him unfit. He was far too desperate and unprepared. There's no helping someone like that.
The guide sounds even more agitated as he elaborates. Bemley seems to be finished with being surprised. His anger reignites, cause of course it does.
If that's all well and true, why haven't you died yet? How is it that you've been able to cross these horrendous bridges over and over again without suffering the same consequences as everyone else?
Because he's fast. The guide's face twists into a vicious snarl. He shouts,
I have died!
I did not see this coming. Cold as maybe, the guide's never been anything but upfront and open. Aye. no people skills or tact, but aye.
I have no life to give. Everything I am, everything I could have been, was surrendered to this lake. That is the only reason why I am able to stand before you now. I can show you the way, and I can give you advice on how to survive the perils you will face. That is all I'm able to offer. Is that not enough for you? What else do you want from me? Kindness? Sympathy? It's been far too many years since I was capable of giving anything like that.
He finally stops to catch his breath, though the emotion in his eye still shines intently. There's no response from either of us. An agonising silence permeates the air. No one dares to even move. The tension is cut as the boards beneath me start to creak. My eyes dart down. The bridge is sinking, rapidly. Instinctively I jump backwards, but the new section of bridge groans horribly as it too starts to tilt into the water. Yep, big oof. They keep getting further and further away with each disappearing platform I move off of. I look up at Bemley's call. My chest tightens when I see him and the guide on what has become the other side of a small chasm. I leap back just in time as the bridge under me snaps like a twig. Glancing over again, they keep getting further and further away with each disappearing platform I move off of. Dread creeps up my neck and I nearly lose my footing once I realise what's happening. Desperately stumbling backwards, I finally manage to regain my balance. I use this to leap far enough back that the bridge I land on doesn't immediately start to fall apart under my weight. In another 3 swift steps, I'm finally on sturdy wood. The bridges reluctantly stop shifting and settle. The only trace left of what was a huge section of bridge is a few splintered boards floating in the mucky water. The lake consumed it. Somehow I'm not surprised. Regain my bearings, I face what has become of my circumstances. I am now separated from Bemley and the guide by a far wider gorge than anyone could leap. My throat goes bone dry as I teeter at the end of the bridge, mind wildly scrambling for a solution that doesn't come. I lock onto Bemley's face. He's completely aghast, darting from one side of the bridge to the other like a panicked animal. There's no mistaking that he's desperate to help me in some way. However, there's also no mistaking that there aren't any options available to him. He turns to the guide with pleading eyes, all his earlier hostility sunken with the bridges. I am too far off to grasp what Bemley is asking, but I get the impression he is seeing if there's another way. The guide turns to me. He's completely cooled down from the earlier interaction, back to his same placid expression. He focuses back on Bemley, who has now gripped him by the cloak. The guide says one word. Judging from the look of pure terror on Bemley's face, I can only assume it was no. There's no way back to them. The guide frees himself from Bemley's grasp and continues speaking. Bemley still seems horribly shaken at his words. I can barely see from here, but I think he's quivering. As I watch the two discuss my fate, unable to say anything, fear starts to crawl over me. My arms run cool, to cold, to freezing. It's not long for the rest of my body follows. I notice Bemley cover his face with his still shuddering hand. The guide's voice echoes loudly across the waters, separating me from them.
Go back and take the next bridge you come across that goes west. There may be enough time for you to find your own way.
I blink, taken aback for a moment before I quickly regain my composure. That's right, this isn't over. I still have my lantern with me. The prowlers are less active, and if the guide says it's possible, it could be true. I nod solemnly at his words and yell back.
I'll meet you there. Don't wait for me.
The guide's like, I'm not. Don't worry about it. He bows his head and starts to slowly back away from the edge. Bemley pulls his head from his hand to look at me. Even across the water I can tell he's crying. I smile forlornly at him as the wind whips against my back. I speak softly.
You need to go.
There's no way he could have heard me, yet I'm confident that the sentiment got across. I spin on my heels and run back the way we came, searching for the bridge the guide said to take. I can only hope that we all safely reunite before this night ends. I can't imagine that would have been an option the guide considered. Nah. I spare a brief glance behind me. Whenever there's not a trace of them or even the dead end I was stranded at. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It's that time of the month. Screw the Tories.
Exactly. Exactly. Big long noise and screw the Tories. Poonikins, how you doing, pal? It's lovely to see you. How have you been? 24 months. 2 years. 2 whole years. You've been subbed to this. I really, really appreciate that one. But yeah, it was like Porsche, wasn't it? I'm going to be thinking about that for years to come. It's just going to ring in my ears a little bit. Just going to just settle my soul is what it's going to do. Frame that shit exactly. I just need to take a wee screenshot and just put it up on the wall next to me. Busy with the gym and finishing the current job. I saw your leaving card. I really liked your leaving card. How are you feeling about starting the new job? You're set, feeling good? I am doing good. I just working away. Nothing new as per. Same old. We're getting through this. This is good. Nervous but excited to earn more money. Cannot beat we buy extra money. It's always handy, especially now. It's like actually afford to pay bills and then just be like, this is the bit I was at before. This is what I want. Bye. So we're starting that on Monday then. It's gonna be good. I'm really happy for you. Hope it's good, but I doubt. There's nothing to be nervous about though. Absolute top lad, the top lad. You're gonna smash the job. Nothing to worry about. What are we doing? Where are we? So much has happened in this game. So much. There are a few happier feelings than paying bills and seeing fat zeros your bank account afterwards. Yeah. See, unless there's like a whole load of zeros and then maybe like a 1 on the like far left point after. You know what? I'm not greedy. I'll settle for 9 zeros. A 1 followed by 9 zeros. .00. I'd be fine with that. I'm not greedy. Just a cheeky wee bill, that'll do me. Aye, billion is 9. I was like, I'm saying this, you're like, yeah, it's 9. Quickly I shake off the thought and refocus my attention on what's in front of me. The first branching of the path comes into reach. I skid into a full stop in front of it. The path west is as dark and desolate as every bridge. It's impossible to see what's down the twisting way. The previous conversation comes floating back to me. Now that I'm here, I must face that concern. Is the guide reliable? Can he be trusted? Oh man, I would say so for more than one. Yeah, that would be nice. Just a few, just a nice wee few zeros would be nice. Like bills paid, and you're looking at it, it's like still a few there. A few zeros in a wee number. Nice. I had to leave so they could go on without being weighed down. That I don't regret. Oh, that I don't regret. Right. I was totally wrong inflection there again. However, I can't help but wonder if the guide couldn't give me a proper suggestion because of the sinking bridges. A mistake could have been made. It's also possible he knowingly gave false hope to keep the situation calm. Or perhaps he intentionally sent me to the wrong path because it would be easier for them if I did not make it. I looked between the paths. Based on my direction, it does seem as though other options could potentially connect me to them before the west does. Yet I cannot possibly know until I move forward. I'm going to let the guide me. No, I cannot allow doubt to take control. We've known from the beginning that there is only one path that has led travellers to safety. His. I will take the guide on his word. Exactly, so he's not lied over. Why would he start now? Without wasting an additional moment, I make my way across the western bridge. I walk at a moderately brisk pace, not wanting to risk tripping or running out of energy in a moment where I need it. If the eeriness of the lake was disconcerting before, now it is overwhelming. The blizzard-like fog drifting over the waters limits my vision to the span of my arms. The utter silence was a comfort, despite how otherworldly it felt, but the whispering of the lake has started to stir now. Excuse me. I gulped despite myself. Dave noticed me. Couple of wee eyes dotted about. As their chattering grows, I consider briefly if the others hear them as well, or if they have come out specifically because I'm on my own. I straighten my back and walk more surely. I cannot let them believe I am an easy target. I even consider keeping my sword in hand, but it doesn't seem entirely likely that they would realise it's something that could hurt them. He's also had no worries telling other people are buggles, so why would he start now? Exactly. It's just that, you know what? The west side will get you there. I mean, he knows it's going to be dangerous, so it's basically it's up to you. Like, I'll tell you the quickest route or the route that will get you there. The decisions you make, that's up to you. To keep my mind from wandering into dark places, I count my steps like we used to in training. 1, 2, 3, 4. Despite my best efforts, things are starting to get to me. My worries wash over me, causing painful twinges underneath my clothes that make me jerk and twitch like a fly-bitten horse. The whispering inhuman voices, the feeling of vulnerability, the horrible thought of being hopelessly lost all melded together is consuming me. My pace breaks from the steady rhythm of my counting set. It quickens more as I start to succumb to fear. My brisk steps turn into long, frantic strides. Something in me whispers, faster, go faster, don't let them catch you, and I listen. I break into a run. Like moving on landmines, flashes of fear explode in my mind and drive my feet harder, faster, stronger along the path. Until suddenly my sense of reason returns and I stop dead. My chest rises and falls with deep, heaving breaths as I try to calm myself down. The monsters erupt into an inharmonious chorus of what sounds to be wicked laughs. I fight the urge to shout back at the creatures. This feels like a nightmare I will never wake up from. I take another breath and resume my measured progress. It's not looking good. Even after the first crossroads, I continue with the guide's simple direction, keeping west every chance I get. I have no other hints for this labyrinth. It's difficult to tell how much time has passed. It must be at least an hour, judging by how much energy I've expended. Since I recomposed myself, I've not stopped walking for a second. Despite how much time has worn on, the route still feels like an endless abyss. I thought that. See when it says landmines, I'm like, landmines? It's like, yeah, it's an odd. I don't know when this is maybe set. Oh, that's some minging noise, man. Ugh. Then I hear a noise which causes a shuddering chill to creep down my spine. An uneven clicking followed by a squelching sound. It's a prowler. I immediately turn to look behind me. There's nothing. I breathe out, relieved. My ears search for the source of the noise, but with all the babble the Nixie are making, the direction is clouded. I strain my ears. That's it. The noise is drifting slowly from one of the connecting paths up ahead. I can faintly tell the noise is drawing nearer. The prowler has not yet arrived, but soon its path will intersect my own. I will not wait for it to reveal myself, leaving me two options. I can run past the bridge connection to get ahead of it, or I turn back and find a new path. Nah, just keep going. Keep going. No backwards progress, you will get lost. I have faith that following the same path I have been is for the best. I steel myself and build up speed. I get closer and closer to the branch with the lurking threat and pick up my pace so I'm sprinting. Excuse me. I hear a gurgling hiss as I pass through the crossroad. It must have been close enough to be pained by the light. I barely made it. However, I didn't hear any splash. It's still nearby. I look behind me to see if it at least decided to come no further. Horrified, I realise that it's pointedly following me. It's no longer mindlessly dragging itself through blackness. I have become its target. Its limbs bend wildly and unnaturally. It looks as though it's only barely keeping itself upright as its torso wobbles in its hips. That isn't stopping it from giving chase. I focus my view back ahead and continue to run. My breathing rapidly becomes ragged. I can still hear the squishing footsteps of the prowler behind me as it lunges its body forward in that unnatural gait. Without warning, the bridge lurches to one side. Oh dear. Catching me completely off guard, I lose my foot and then slam into the damp surface of the bridge. My light falls with me, painfully snuffing out. Because of course. Splashes and the excited stirring of many voices come from the lake. How? Why? Is it rotten? Or did they push the support beams? It makes sense. I'm left with no time to ponder the mystery as the monster draws near. I scramble back to my feet as it closes in. Grabbing my dark lantern, I resume running to put some space between us again. I open the lantern and the latch on the lantern and pull out a match. I'll have to slow down, at least briefly, to properly light the flame without it blowing out. With death still on my heels, I must not let one precious moment be wasted. Set on my plan and with everything in hand, I begin to decrease my pace. Moving as fast as I'm capable, I place a lit match inside the lantern and the oil catches fire. As the flame grows, I can hear the awful footsteps behind me begin to peter out. I steal a glance behind me. It has truly stopped. The return of the light seems to catch off guard and thankfully it declines to come closer. Run. Do not stare it down. After a moment's reprieve to breathe, I rush forward once more. Fighting isn't an option, and I need to get away from that monster. I'm not able to run fast enough, however. I let out a loud scream as the prowler latches onto my body from behind. I'm thrown to the ground again. The shock is great and the lantern slips in my hand, skidding across the bridge out of my reach. Because it came in contact with the light, the prowler drops itself back into the depths without attacking again. There is no time to feel relieved. Arms of other Nixie emerge from the water and reach up the side of the bridge, scraping the boards to try to get to me. I try to climb onto my feet, but one of the creatures takes hold of me before I can properly stand. I'm dragged back down to the ground, my jaw smacking hard against the bridge as the Nyx blindly pulls me towards the edge. other slimy, clawed hands grab onto me as I jam my nails hard into a crevice in the bridge. It is not looking good. I kick frantically at their silhouettes, but they keep pulling me closer to the edge. I curl my fingers around the uneven wood tighter. Despite all my effort, there is no support. My bloody splintered fingers come loose. Water engulfs my vision, heavy and cold, so thick I can't even hear my own thrashing. I try to grab my sword, try to fight back, but I can't even get it out of the hilt. The resistance against me is all-encompassing. Something grabs my arm, and then my waist. I get pulled from side to side, or further down, first one way, then another. The water feels like a solid substance, and being dragged against it is like I'm being pressed through something. My vision grows darker and darker. I can't tell whether I'm going lower, or whether I'm losing consciousness. My arms flail to bring me closer to wherever the surface is, but nothing is working. Complete darkness engulfs me. Was everything I've done worth it? I must believe that it was. Well, there's an ending for you. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Big oops. Well, that's a nice wee ending there, wasn't it? That was lovely. I don't actually know what I could have done differently there. No. I don't know. Maybe, well, actually, maybe tried to save people. Maybe that's what I could have done differently. Push Bill by the street, exactly. I was thinking, if we kept wee Florida boy, maybe he would have came with us if they both jumped back, and then I could just be like, nah, I'm gonna give you up post that getaway. If you say only make a human ladder, aye, just climb up them, it's fine. Grab you like that. Aye. Aye, it's just I need to save everybody so I can sacrifice them at a later point rather than tell them to do one, it seems That's what I get for try to be good. Margaret's gone. Florida boy gone. I do not need to be quickest, just setting slowest. That's it. Or not setting slowest, I just mid-range maybe. Aye. That was good. I enjoyed that. Came up to a nice wee end, I think. Oh wait, I can't go with this one yet. I have something else to do because we still need to pick another game. Let's see. We have got agreed that let's take one of them off the list. That's about annoying. What's left? I will show you if I can find my thing. This. There we go. We have 4 options. 4 options left. We have Nightmare of Decay, Endoparasitic, Mad Father, and Killer Frequency. All seem like pretty good games. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the list. I had to take Choo Choo Charles off because I just do not have the money to buy anything just now. So if that pops up on sale at the end of the month, I might get that and then just re-add that back in. But we do have these, and we do have Signalis. Signalis, is how you pronounce it? Signalis is going to be the last game we do, so once we get through all these 4, we'll end off like we'll end it with Signalis, like the whole horror thing. I meant to check Madfather. It is Mad Feather. Mad Fate, that's not right. Madfather. Was it like 4 hours? Madfather was that was a couple, because Killer Frequency's roughly the same. How much is Choo Choo Charles? I do not know. I just not have the money for it. It's cheap. I say cheap. It is cheap for a game. 17 quid ish. 16.75. So it is one of those things that we'll have to wait till the end of the month. I just didn't want it on the list in case it showed up like for Thursday. And like, well, I'll add it back in. I'll get it at the end of the month. And we can add it in and do a wee bit of that. Bye. I've got plenty to keep me going. I think it's Mad Father. A Mad Father it is. So boom, remove that. That'll do. I need to save that. That's saved. Cool. Right. Now I can go over here. Actually, let me just quit out the game. Oh, that's good. Okay, let's try and close the window. There we go. It froze for some reason. Let's see who's on. So, yeah. We have got a special stream on Sunday featuring the lovely Scientologist. Who's going to be taking me through some Marvel Snap. I have... what did I do? I've done the tutorial. I've got my login, got my username. So I'm like set up and good to go, which is not too bad. But aye, we will be doing some Mad Father on Thursday. More than likely Tuesday next week as well. Actually, I might do that on Monday. Possibly. I need to get a new Sunday game. We're going to give it a whirl. Well, see, yeah, tune in on Sunday, and because Sai's been playing it for a while, so knows all the tips and tricks and stuff like that, and like how to properly play. So I said I've done the tutorials, and they're like, I get the basic gist, but yeah, it's like I don't know anything else about it, nothing at all. So that should be a very good time. Hopefully it works. It should work. I mean, the game works fine. It's streaming it whilst sharing it to Sai, so there's not a delay. But we'll figure something out. And making sure that you can actually hear Sai. Aye, easy to pick up, hard to master. That's the kind of thing. It's going to teach us the kind of nuances, I suppose. Is the best way to phrase it. Bye. It should be good. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. But I just need to figure out. I need to figure out a new Sunday game for after. Maybe even start that on Monday. Actually, maybe I know I was meant to do Final Fantasy 3. Maybe I could do that as a Sunday game and do that every second Monday. Because I don't think it's that long. Let me double check. Final Fantasy, because I've 100%ed it, and that took 22 hours. So I feel like that could be the Sunday stuff. And then maybe change that over to Tuesdays and Thursdays after the horror games are done. I think I'll do that. I think I'll do that. So Monday, this obviously won't be updated until Sunday. This Monday coming will be the start of Final Fantasy 3. And then the Sundays after that, whilst we do the horrors. Just to mix it up a bit. Although Final Fantasy 3 is the absolute weakest, so maybe that in itself is a horror game. We class it as that. I just saw something in Steam there. It's like, nominate Final Fantasy 3 for Steam Awards for Outstanding Story-Rich Game. You're like, that was 2021. Anyway, I am massively looking forward to these new surprise crafts, Gherkin, because I honestly love seeing your crafts. It's one of the best things I see here. It's just always so good. And they're just amazing. You just look at them just in awe. Depends on the RNG gives you, yeah. I guess what I think that's the horror aspect. Is the RNG. I do not know who's on. I think I'm just going to do a wee offline raid 2. It says Chronicle went live, but nothing is showing up in my list. Actually, do you know who's on? Do you know who's on? Your lad Southie's on. Southie has not streamed in an age, so we will go and see Southie. Doing some inscription. Oh, yes. Get those cheeky Garibaldis. Absolutely. There's also many swears and much stabbings. Oh, whoa. I don't know who that was. Because it's Southie. It's Southie, not Southie. That was not a channel I meant to read. Anyway, I'm gonna go see Southie. Gherkin, you get your cuppa and your cheeky Garibaldis before bed. And you have a good sleep, pal. You have a good rest. But run along and see Southie. He is good folk. Very good folk. And playing Inscription, which is a very good game. But yeah, I'll be back on Thursday with some Mad Father. Tonight was very interesting. I really liked that game. I think I might do some more. Might do some more at some point. Maybe off stream, maybe on stream. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you very, very much to Maheen for the raid. Absolute belter of a lad. Punikins, absolute same goes to you for that resub. Massively appreciated, pal. But yeah, we're gonna go see Southie, see what the crack is. And I will hopefully see you all here on Thursday. But I'm sure I'll talk to you before then. But take care, enjoy the rest of your night, whatever you're up to, and I will catch you all on the next one. See you later.